Much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for what you do. I'm a military brat. Dad died on active duty. Huge. Spent a lot of time in the VA over the years with my dad. But as a representative of the state of Alabama, we have 380,000 veterans. We're a military state. And I just recently went through most of our VAs through the state. Very proud of what they're doing. Obviously, we've got a lot of work to do in some areas, but we've got a lot of veterans, and with these wars that we've had, we've got a lot more coming. And all veterans need a vaccine. They all need it. We all know that, and we're talking in circles in here in some areas. But there's a lot of new veterans in our state that have PTSD, underlying conditions, and I know that we want to get it to the older veterans, and rightly so. Because they're more vulnerable. But nobody's any more vulnerable than our kids, our young men and women with PTSD, and we have got a lot of them. We're losing 22 veterans a day to suicide, and that's really increased since this virus because stacking one problem on top of another creates more problems. And really don't have a question. I just want to ask is there any priority to any of these young men and women that recently come back, with PTSD, with underlying conditions, with lost legs, lost arms, that have huge problems on top of problems, and scared to death that they're going to get this virus, but they can't get the vaccine. Is there any priority that we can look at that?
There is, sir, and it's part of that 1C group that Dr. Kim was talking about as we've looked at it. Now, we have not seen an increased amount of virus sensitivity based on PTSD, but we have seen a lot of problems. And those problems primarily relate to the intense isolation that's occurred because of this pandemic and the fact that people have been locked in their homes. Therefore, we've converted about 75% of our behavioral health engagement to video-type visits that have reached into the veteran's home. And we've replaced face-to-face visits with video visits that a veteran can interact with our psychiatrists and psychologists to make sure they remain stable. Yeah. Our calls to our veteran crisis line have gone up very significantly. Part of that is the 988 system that's being fielded around the nation. But the rest of it is because of the really strain on this population that you so articulately laid out. This is an extraordinarily at-risk population that needs our engagement.
Thank you very much. It's another thing that I noticed, not just going through the VAs, but also the hospitals all over Alabama, we're struggling at times even getting first responders to take the vaccine. A little leery about taking it. Marketing is a huge problem sometimes in something new like this. I wish, with the trillions of dollars and billions of dollars that we're spending on this, sometimes you need to market, through public service. Of take the vaccine. We've got to get rid of this thing. I mean, and if people don't take this, if they're leery of it, sometimes you even use football coaches. In our state, we got a pretty famous one in that state that probably could do a PSA to say, take your vaccine. First responders, veterans, anybody that has an opportunity to take it. I think sometimes we forget to use the things that we have at our disposal to get people to understand that, things do work. And we're not trying to trick anybody. We're just trying to make it work. But again, thank you for your service. Thank you for what you're doing. We truly, and I know our veterans appreciate it too. We truly thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator, thank you. Let me just respond that anybody that a veteran trusts that can talk about this vaccine has value to making sure that we increase the amount of vaccination. Your state has some of the lowest acceptance rates of vaccine in the country. And part of that dates back to the World War II era where there's some egregious things done in various experiments. And so that message needs to be overcome, and we would welcome participation in that to get that message out.